I'll every, give everyone a couple of minutes to jump in. I don't want to miss anyone. Give everyone till 8:04. But yes, we are all an team, which is super exciting. I know for like some of you guys, you might not know what that means or what that means for all of us, but it pretty much means that not just me, because yes, I am the person that got to the rank, but it means that this team, everyone pretty much under me has contributed to this and to this rank, which means that as a team, we're getting like noticed by a lot of other teams in Australia, in the US, and things like that, which is really cool because not many people get their team to like, not everyone's team gets to this level. And it pretty much means that you guys are working, that you guys are doing the business, that you guys are in your business. And even though sometimes it might feel like, you know, you might not have hit your rank that month, or you might not have hit your goal that month, or whatever, it still means that you're contributing and that you're working your business. Every single person on this call is working their business. If you weren't, you wouldn't be on this call. So I'm not speaking to the people that are doing absolutely nothing. I'm speaking to the people who are contributing to this team and to their business as well. So I'm really, really grateful for all of you and really proud of all of you, because some girls have been here for, you know, as long as I have been. Shan was probably one of my first MPs, and she's still going strong. Like, she's still here, she's still showing up, she's still on the meetings, she's still watching the calls, all that sort of thing. So that in itself is big, because most people give up. Like, genuinely, like, why do you think that MMB are the top 3% of the company? Because nobody, hardly ever, like, what's the word? Like, no one really just keeps going. People always give up. And I don't know if anyone has come into this business thinking that it's a like get rich quick kind of thing, because if you've been in network marketing before, you know that it's not. If you've been here for any time, you'll know that it's not. It is something that requires dedication and commitment and focus. But it's something that can also give you so much in return. It can give you, you know, everything that you've wanted. And we've seen it happen to multiple women, and not just people who are, I don't know, influencers, not just people who are got heaps of followers or anyone like that. Yeah, exactly, Shan. It's an investment for your future. And every time that things get hard for me, I always think, and I've never had this mentality, actually. I've always just been like, I never really thought about it. I'd always be like, yeah, I'll just work and this and that. Like, never really had a plan for my future. And now I'm like, 5 years of hard work for me is going to create freedom for, like, you know, the rest of my life, and be able to give me so much more than what I was going to get. So anyway, I just wanted to say, like, congratulations to Mon and Michelle, Michelle has been an MMB for 2 months now, and it was Mon's first time hitting MMB. So that's super exciting. I'm so proud of you, and the girls under you, Eliza and Rani and Sarah and Jashi. So I'm just, super proud of you guys, because it has, like, June was not an easy month. Like, June and July are usually when people really take a break and things get quiet. But in Monet, like, over the last couple of months, I've seen like huge growth. I think Ivy in June got like $2 million of sales, which is insane, which is so crazy. So it can be like, we can tell ourselves that we have like quiet months, but really, like, it just goes to show that for June, for me, my leaders will know this, June was probably the hardest month of like the last 5 years that I have ever had. And I don't know what happened, but I just kept showing up, and all of a sudden we were almost at MM, and I was like, well, I guess we're doing this and we're going for it. And so we did. And so it just goes to show that even though it feels like sometimes you have such a mountain to climb and you feel like you have just got so far to go. I've hit this rank in 10 months and it might take someone a year, but when you finally get there, you're like, gosh, all this consistency and all this hard work was like really, really worth it. It was really worth it. And some people, it might just be a rank, but for me, it means that, um, you know, it's leading into more of a, like, I always forget the word, like an income that's just going to keep like going.
Residual income.
Residual income. I think you have been the one that has reminded me of that word like 3 times. And it just means that, yeah, like my team is doing well. And from the get-go, from the start, I've always just, I really care about people. And the thing that lights me up is seeing other people succeed. So the me hitting means that other women in this team are succeeding. And for me, that is like the biggest reward out of everything. And it just means that I have grown. Like I've grown so much as a person, and it's just from my consistency. And you know, when I first started this business, people were like, "What's your secret? What do you do?" Like, you know, is it creating a reel every day? Is it, you know, doing this and doing that? I'm like, it sounds pretty freaking boring, but it's just consistency and passion. Like I had so much passion when I started this business. I was obsessed. I just threw myself in and I was just like, I'm going to do this and I don't care what anyone else thinks. And that has pretty much gotten me this far and this amazing team. So I'm super grateful for you guys. And so I've got a couple of little notes that I'm going to go on, but I just want to hear, Mon is going to share a little bit about her story, why she started, and then because she joined in March and she's hit MMB March, March, April, May, June in 3 months. So, and that's the top 3% of the company. So I just want to hear a little bit from Mon about, yeah, like why she started and kind of why she hasn't given up, I guess.
Right, you just have to excuse my voice because it's a bit croaky because I'm a little
It's
bit
fine.
sick. Yeah, I haven't really prepared this, but I guess
Well, just tell me why, like why you started,
um
because I think some of the
yeah.
girls here would not even know your story.
Yeah, so I was in like the beauty, I guess, beauty industry for like 10 years as a makeup artist. I worked at Mecca managing like big teams of women. I did that for like 5 years. It was my life. And then I got sick with heaps of like hormonal imbalances and gut issues. And then I like dove into the world of like low tox beauty and I started running like low tox beauty masterclasses with my friend who's a facialist. And like, yeah, that was kind of like what I did. And then I fell pregnant, had my baby, that changed everything. And then I opened up a women's health clinic in Brisbane, May Mothers Collective, which specialized in like preconception, pregnancy, and postpartum. I did that for 2 years. Again, it was my life. I threw literally everything in. And in January this year, I decided to sell my share to my business partner. We started at the beginning, we were the founders. It was a really hard decision, but I just felt like the business was sucking me dry and I needed something that I could do while I had both my kids at home. They don't go to daycare. I don't, yeah, I don't want to, yeah, I don't want to send them to daycare. Um, and yeah, I was like, I did that. And then I was like, I actually don't know what I'm going to do, but I definitely need to financially contribute to our family. And I'd been watching Lydia share and like a few other friends, like my friend Sasha and my friend Tash, who was there today. One of the naturopaths at my clinic even started Monat. And so I had all these people and I was like, oh my God, who do I choose? Like it was literally like, everyone's asking me, like I had Tash reach out and everything. And I think just like, yeah, I went with you, Lydia, because I saw like I knew that you were going to be in it for the long haul. And I could just tell like you actually knew, like, you were just extremely passionate. And then I think so I bought the products off you and it's as soon as I got the products, it's like I knew I was going to do it, but I was just blocking myself. Like I just was blocking myself from it. I just made every excuse in the book in my head. And then yeah, the day you reached out, I was like, oh, this is like meant to be then. And then so yeah, I literally just jumped in. I'm always a bull at a gate with things. I don't take things slowly ever. I like my husband thinks I'm a psycho because He's like, you could literally convince anyone of anything when you get something in your head.
Yeah,
So
I'm the
like,
same.
as soon as I started using the products, I was like, oh my God, anyway, don't know if that's a good trait or a
Your
bad trait,
belief was
but
strong.
yeah. And I just, yeah, my why, I guess, is I just looking back on my childhood, my mum like had a single parent, my parents separated, and mum always struggled for money, like always. Like, yeah, I remember we used to go to dancing and we were always like the poor family that used to have to get like the costumes on like a, on like a payment plan. And like I just used to, as a child, I just never forget like the struggle. And I just don't want that for our kids. I felt so loved and I had everything, I was loved unconditionally. So that's the main thing. But I just want to have more choice for my children where we live, where like what we do for school. Um, yeah, and like I want to be able to set them out up with their own houses when we're older. So yeah, like the bigger picture for me is definitely like, yeah, my kids and just having the freedom. It's not about being rich or having like a mansion or a fancy car. Like me and my partner literally drive the most basic cars. And like if I, sorry, when I get to MM, when I get to MM, like I'm gonna feel so strange driving a Range Rover because I'll feel so out of like I'm just, I'm not like I don't have all the fancy handbags and things like that. I literally spend like $9 on a bottle of raw milk. Like that's where my money goes. So yeah, that's I guess like my why. I like want to buy organic produce. I want to have my own chickens. I want to like I'd love to buy like a property on yeah,
Yeah.
that's sort of why I did it. And I remember I
And
was watching what's the guy, the network marketing
Daniel G.
Daniel G. I watched one of his
Ollie.
videos. It's in our thing. And he said one thing that has literally stuck with me. And it was like, I'm gonna not say this properly, like how he said it, but basically like, you're doing your business for, 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, you get to the 18th day and you haven't got to where you are, so you quit. And then the person that saw you offering that service or product sees you quit, and so they go to someone else on the 19th day. And it's like, yeah, if it's not always going to be easy. There's going to be months where you question it. I've had days where I've questioned it. But exactly what you said, Lydia, it's just about literally showing up and being consistent. And it isn't a get rich quick scheme. But it's like, you know, yeah, you just have to, I guess, do like one step every day. And like, yeah, even when I jumped into it, I literally had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know about the products. It's almost like you have to fake it till you make it, really. And
Just got to borrow the belief from someone else, really. That's what
100%.
it is. Yeah.
And yeah, I feel like if all the women in, that have been successful, I mean, we're all successful, but, the women that are where we would like to be in terms of, earning and all that stuff, it's like we all have that potential. Everyone that's on this call right now has that potential, and they're no different, really. Like, look at Ivy, like Jess, like, yeah, they're all just genuine
Like the
people
most
that want
genuine
more from
people.
life.
Yeah,
Mm.
exactly. We're not like these celebrities. We're not people who are better than anyone else. We're just people who want more. And that's one of my points, actually. It's like what makes us different from other people? Like what makes the people who do the hard things, the successful people, what makes them different? Because we all come from different backgrounds. We all come from, some of us come from abuse and trauma and, growing up really poor. Some people grow up, with a silver spoon in their mouth and they're given everything. And, you look at those people and some of those people don't do well because they don't know what it is to have. And the thing that the people who are most successful have is hunger. That's all they have. There's nothing else
Mm.
that you need to succeed other than the hunger and the drive, because the hunger is going to actually just keep propelling you forward and keep going, keep making you go every single day. Like for me, on days when I just don't want to show up, and like for Mon as well, like I don't know if you guys know, but Mon has 2 young kids. She is literally awake every night. I don't think I know anyone who gets as least amount of sleep as she
Yeah,
does. But like,
so fucked.
and she is still got hunger every day, shows up every day. She's talking to her girls every day. And even though sometimes we don't show our faces and stuff, we're working behind the scenes, we're contacting people, we're messaging our VIPs, we're doing those sorts of things. Does it require work? Yes, like it does. Like it can feel exhausting, it can feel repetitive. Um, but when you get to that place and when you're planting those seeds and when you feel like nothing is working, you're going to get to a place in a couple months time where you're seeing all of these seeds come to fruition and they're growing, and you've got people coming out of the woodwork going like, oh, I literally had a girl today message me and say, I've been watching you for 10 months. And I just, like, I saw heaps of people joining up to become a VIP, but like, I just haven't reached out and wanted to see your hair journey, if it was working, and if you were like going to continue to do this for a while, because you're someone that I would have wanted to buy from. And it's really encouraging that you're still doing it. 10 months. Like, if I stopped a couple months ago, I wouldn't have that impact on people. So, yeah, like, when you have the hunger for something, all the things around it grow. You don't need to be smart. You don't need to have all the product knowledge. You don't have to have all these things. Those things grow when you have hunger. The hunger comes from your belief. It comes from your vision, which is why, like, you hear so much about it in Monat, in network marketing companies in general. You hear so much about the belief, because it's not like you go into a job and be like, okay, in 5 years' time, you're going to get like, this salary package, and you're going to get like this training and this training, you're going to get this certificate, and you're done. We don't get that. We get a vision, and we see people ahead of us doing this, and that's our belief. That's what we talk about, borrowing our belief. You sometimes are not going to get a pay every week. I've had times where I don't get a pay every week. No, sorry, there's been like once or twice, but still, there are going to be times where you don't see what the work that you're putting in, you're not seeing an outcome from it straight away. But you have to hold that hunger and that belief that somebody else has gone before you and done it. Like, I'm sure some of you on here are like, I probably won't get to the car rank. Like it'd be nice to get to, like MMB. If you're putting a cap on that as well, that's as far as you're going to go. But I promise you, if you're here and you're doing this, and I can show you that I've done it in some of the hardest months of my life, then you guys can do it as well. And it's got nothing to do with it. I have created a community. Yes, it helps that I have, like, when I started, I had a following, but that was because I have continuously showed up for years. Like, I have been doing the work for a couple of years now. I've been showing up, I've been showing my face, been sharing about my life, so people trust me. So it's not just getting on and talking about shampoo. It's about showing people who you are as a person. And I will bang on about this until the day that I die. You have to be authentic in this business. You have to be yourself. You have to show people who you are. I had this conversation with one of our girls, Lily, yesterday, and she's like, I don't know how to share more of me. And I'm like, what do you like? What do you not like? What do you have controversial opinions about? That makes you you. And at the end of the day, you might feel a little bit like, oh, I don't know if I like feel comfortable to share that. That's how you're going to find your people. Like, that's how I found all of you guys. That's how I found like some of my closest friends, because I've decided to authentically be me. And when you think it's not a part of this business, it really is. Like, you have to be very much yourself, because you're going to find your people, you're going to find your team, you're going to find the people who trust you. So I will always talk about that, about being authentic, because I don't know how hunger really got to where we are now, but you guys know what I mean. So I wanted to ask you guys though, because it's the beginning of the month, what are we, the 3rd today? I want to ask you guys something tangible that you can do if you feel like your business is not moving, if you have just started, if you feel like you're feeling stagnant or anything like that. I want to ask you, and this is a good question to ask yourself when you're feeling a little bit like, oh, if it's daunting, like you've got a full month ahead and you're just like, okay, I really want to hit this goal. Don't really know how I'm going. Things have just been a bit slower lately, whatever. I want to ask you guys and ask yourselves, what is your belief in yourself in this business? If your belief at the start is like, you got to check yourself and be like, okay, what is my belief in myself that I'm going to succeed this? Like, what's your pillar of belief in yourself at the start of this month? Are you at a 5? Are you at, like and if you're at a 5, what do you need to become? Like, what do you need to do to get to a 10? If your belief is like, okay, I really want to get to MMB this month, but like I haven't even had a new VIP in like the last couple of days or the last couple of weeks, or I don't know if like I really want to be an MMB, but do you have thoughts in your mind about the leader that you can be? Do you think like, oh, I'm not going to be a leader like Lydia. I'm not going to be a leader like Mon. I'm not going to be a leader like Ivy, but like I really want to grow my business. Do you think that that is instilling belief in yourself? It's not, because you're constantly telling yourself, like, I might not be good at this. What do you need to get yourself to a 10? At the start of the month, what do you need to get your belief so high, whether it's in the products, whether it's in yourself, whether it's in the business? What do you need to do? If your belief in yourself is not feeling very good, then guys, you've got to go do some work. You got to read some books. Listen to some freaking like inspirational like videos on YouTube. Build yourself. If you are not taking care of yourself, I am very guilty of that. Go and take care of yourself. Book yourself a day at a spa. Book a massage. That's okay, babe. Love you. Book yourself something, do something for yourself. Pour into yourself, because this business can take it out of you, but the belief is always within you. Like, you have to work on that. No one else can be like, because I can tell you till the cows come home, you're an amazing leader, you're going to do so great, you're going to be great at this. You can have other people tell you, but if you don't actually believe it, if you don't feel that, then you're never going to progress. That's why I stayed at MMB for 6 months, because I couldn't rank up because I was not ready for it. I legit did not have the belief in myself that I could have a successful team, that I would be a successful leader. I actually said to Alira, I was like, I don't believe that I could be an SED. Like, I want to. And she's like, well, then you're never going to succeed. You need to have that belief. And so I'm talking about belief in ourselves, but it can mean if your belief in the products aren't there, then do some serious education. We have enough resources in the back office. We have enough resources in our boards. If you need education on the products, to believe in the products, to be able to speak about them, then that's your homework. Like, it's all well and good to like show up on your story and talk about it and stuff like that, but your belief needs to be so strong that other people know that you believe in these products as well. I'm not saying you have to know everything. You don't have to know what the friggin' shampoo and the conditioner does and all that sort of thing, but you have to believe that these products will eventually change your hair and like build people's confidence. You have to believe that this business has the ability to build you, to build other people, to change other people's lives, to change your life. You have to believe that. Go watch some people's success stories. Go watch the $1 Million Earner success stories. That will get your belief going. Trust me. Okay. Something else that a couple of other little points before we end, because I wanted to keep this short and sweet, but I want to fill you guys. If your belief is not there, ask yourself, what's my belief? How can I work on it? Is it on myself? Is it what I need to know? All that sort of thing. This is a hard question that I have to ask myself. And for the last month, really, this has been going over in my head. The success is in the work that you're avoiding. That's pretty much what it is. Your success is in the things that you don't want to do. What is yours? For me, mine is I know that I am really good with the products. I can talk about the business till the cows come home, that sort of thing. But when it gets to doing educational reels on it and showing people about it and talking about my knowledge about it, I'm just like, nah, I don't want to do it. I can't be bothered. And I'll look at all these other girls like Faith Drew, Isabel Sanchez, all those sorts of girls, and I'll look at what they're doing and I'm like, I know I need to do that, but I don't want to do it. And I know that if I start doing it, I'm going to get more VIPs. I'm going to get more people coming to my page. I know I'm going to get more market partners. Things like back office not back office, board stuff. Like I'm really bad with graphics, Canva, all that sort of thing. I avoid it like the plague. I know that that's where my success comes in. Zoom calls, guys. If you knew how much anxiety I have before every freaking Zoom call, like I know you guys might be like, oh, you seem so confident. I have so much anxiety before it comes to calls. I did 2 lives today where outside of my comfort zone. I did, girl, we do not delete. That is a rule in this team. You are not allowed to delete them. You got to post that shit. And if you post a reel, do not delete it. I don't care if 2 people like it. You got to back yourself.
I've definitely deleted reels before, like 2 weeks later, I'm like, no, that was shit.
Oh
It's
my
so
God, no,
bad.
you got to keep them up. Shows people you're consistent. Doesn't
I
matter what
know.
other people think.
I
That is a
know.
rule. If I see any of you put up a reel and you delete it, I'll be on your back.
I feel like lives, but because lives can
Oh
go
yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes if it's like a 40-minute live, you can discard a few of those. But
I deleted the story in Colombia.
I know it.
With good reason. But with good reason. But you told me not to do that. Okay.
Yes, I know I did tell you not to. But that's, you know, like these are the things. The hard things are actually where the success is going to lie. Ask yourself, what am I avoiding? Like, is it avoiding lives with Lydia? Because Lydia always puts in the chat, who's going to do a live with me, and no one responds except for Celeste. Is it lives? Is it reels? Like, do reels just freak you out? Guys, do a short reel course on YouTube. Like, there are literally a million. You got to do the hard work, because it's not about just doing the hard work. It's about growing in that area. It's about building resilience. It's about pushing through the hard things. It is about, you know, when you do hard things, it actually builds your confidence. It's like, okay, that wasn't so bad. Okay, I could do that again. What was I complaining about the whole time? I can do that again. It builds resilience. It builds grit. It builds, you know, confidence in yourself. So do those hard things. And I'm speaking to myself in this as well. Like, I know today, literally, I was like, okay, I'm going to record a hair reel. And it's going to be educational. And I was like, I can't do it. And so I know that that's where my success is lying. And it's so true, because there have been so many other things that I know have been, like my Zoom calls. I know that I have to do these for you guys, so you guys can build, so you guys can feel confident. Even me sharing about me getting stressed out about my Zoom meetings are going to help you to go, okay, well, I need to do it. Lydia's done it. I can do it. You know, like those sorts of things build confidence in you. So do that. Now, for this month, put your blinders on, and we're going to wrap up in a minute. Put your blinders on. Do not watch what everyone else is doing. I know we all love each other here, but if we're looking at everyone else being like, oh, she got a VIP today, and I've been doing this, and I've been wanting to do this, and she hit a rank and I haven't hit it yet. Comparison is the thief of joy. And I know this all too well. Stop watching what everyone else is doing. Put your blinders on, focus on you. Only follow people that inspire you. Do not, there is, and I had to learn this, there is a big difference between people who inspire you and people who think inspire you but actually make you feel kind of shit. Because there are plenty of people in this business who I'm like, okay, I'm going to follow them and see what they're doing. Then I see them succeed, and then I'm like, oh, why am I not doing that well? And maybe I should copy what they're doing. And then when I copy what they're doing, it just doesn't land the same, just doesn't feel like me, feels not authentic to who I am. And that was a big process that I had to go through a couple months into this business, is I was like trying to do what everyone else was doing until I found my own flow. Just unfollow everyone, unfollow negative people, unfollow people who don't have nice things to say about network marketing. I don't know, like, just keep your blinders on, stay in your lane, and focus on what you're doing. That is the biggest piece of advice I can give you, because I myself get very caught up in what everyone else is doing, and I tend to take my focus on what I'm doing, and then you also go, oh, am I doing that well? When you actually are, when you're showing up for yourself and you're doing really well. So one last thing is I told a couple of you about the Atomic Habits book, which I love. It is the second time that I am listening to it. I've also got the book, so I kind of like read bits and pieces as well. It's really fantastic. But one thing that he talks about in it, and Alira goes on all the time about our habits, and it's like, okay, what new habit are you incorporating this month? It can be one new habit that you are doing this month that is going to get you further than what it did last month, because our habits actually show who we are. And if our habits are pretty shit, then it means our work ethic is probably shit, our mindset is probably pretty shit. And you know, like it really shows like in your habits. If you're the type of person, like we see it all the time. I see it on YouTube, I see it on Instagram, like the 3 successful things that, you know, 3 habits that successful people do, and you're just like, yeah, whatever. But I know, like, the people that I know that are successful do, like, they get up at 5:30, they go to the gym, they journal, they do all those sorts of things. They set themselves, like, if your new habit is actually just setting yourself some work hours, then that's going to benefit you. So it talks in this book, it talks about how your identity emerges out of your habits. So the most effective way to change your habits is not to focus on what you want to achieve, but who you want to become in that process. Every action gets you closer to the person that you want to become. So if your focus, like, and I think Daniel G talks a bit about this, is like, when you have a goal at the end of the month, it's like, okay, I want to hit this goal, or I want to, you know, make $10,000 in the next couple of months or whatever. Rather than focusing on the goal, focus on who you want to become and who you want to be at the end of that. Alira goes into the avatar training, which we've got in our boards. It's a social media training, and it goes into like your avatar and who you want to become and who you want to be in this business. That's why we talk about vision, belief, all that sort of thing. You have to picture who you want to become, and your habits then form through that. So rather than focusing on the goal, focus on who you want to become. If I want to become someone who's like super successful, if I want to become someone who is walking on stage at Monations and, you know, doing a speech and doing trainings to people, if I want to be someone that people look at and they feel inspired by, then what makes me an inspirational person? What are the habits that an inspirational, you know, boss woman has? She's probably really focused. She's probably dedicated in other areas of her life. You know, like there's all these things make up those habits. I can't tell you what those habits are, but you'll figure it out when you know who you want to become in this process, not just the goal that you want, because our goals can change. But if it's who you want to be and the woman that you want to become in this business, or at the end of this business, or for your family or anything like that, those habits are going to form that person. So I would encourage you guys, figure out what your belief is at the start of this month. If it's at a 5, what can you do to get it to a 10? What do you need to work on? What do you need to work on within yourself or the products or the business or anything like that? And then work out what's like a new habit that you can implement. If it's going to the gym once or twice a week, because that builds mental strength. If it's getting up in the morning, if it's just, it can literally be anything. I would encourage you guys to, look at what your habits are, who you want to be, and what habits can get you there. So
Can I just say one thing, Lids, on habits? Because I did some business coaching recently. I was like in a bit of a group container, and the business coach talks about a friction list. So basically, when you just say you decide you want to do a new habit, so it's like going to the gym, right? If you like, you got to think about all the frictions, like why haven't you not done that in the past? So write a friction list. So like, these are the reasons why I may not go to gym. I won't set my alarm, or I press snooze. I don't have my clothes ready to go in the morning. I get cold, and it's like working through your friction list. Okay, so how can number 1, you know, make sure that I have my clothes prepared at the end of my bed. So that's one less thing I have to do. Have my like coffee in the coffee machine ready to go in the morning. So you basically write down all the things. And then there's like, a bit of stuff around like actually achieving the habits. So that you need a cue, an action, and then a reward. So like a cue for that habit might be like, if you find that you're driving past, like for you, Lids, if you're always going to the same place for matcha and you want, you know, you're like, okay, I need to stop buying matcha every day. Like I need to drive, you know, I need to stop going to this one specific matcha place. It's like, she talks about going a different way home. You know, it might be longer, but that's like a cue. You're not driving past that. But yeah, and then like an action and a reward. So like, you know, if there's something that you really don't want to do, like the other day, I did not want to go to the post office to post samples to this girl, which I knew I had to do it, but I was like, it was cold, it was raining. I was like, I just kept putting it off. Like, okay, if I go there, it's right next to my favorite coffee shop, I'll get a coffee. Like it's like, because I think it's so easy to just like set habits, but it's like sometimes, yeah, you need to actually do the mental like gymnastics around it. And like for me, it's really helped a friction list because like you can't just get, sometimes you just can't get from A to B that easily. It sounds easy, but it's like we stop ourselves from doing the shit that we want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that, because I think that is a really valuable point. If it's, you know, getting up at 5:30 in the morning, is it because you keep your snooze alarm? If you keep snoozing your alarm, put your phone on the other side of the room. Like, you know, it could be anything like that. So that's really, really helpful. So yes, anyway, hopefully that has given you guys some things to take away and think about. But thank you all so much for showing up here and, you know, just being here and doing it and doing the work. It just shows me how like dedicated you guys are. And yes, July is going to be insane. Like I just want us to all just really go for it, like go for our goals, because I know for me, last month being the hardest month, I really did not think that I would get to and Mon did not think that she would get to MMB, and Rani didn't think that she'd get to MMP. Like, you know, it's when the pressure's there and when you're like really going, okay, I can do this, you can be so surprised about what can actually happen and what you can achieve. So yeah, I believe in all of you, and I just appreciate you all.
And it's not over till the fat lady sings, you know that quote?
It's not
seriously
over the last minute.
I like literally cock blocked myself at like I think it was like the 25th of the month. I'm like, nah, there's just zero way now, no way. And then it took you, Lydia, to be like, babe, you only need one more line to be like MMP. And then I'm like, oh, you get excited, and it's like, don't like literally so much can happen in one day. You can get like some people hit MMP in one day. Like, so it's like, don't block yourself off from something before the month's over. Like, because you honestly like,
which is that belief that I talked about. Check your belief, work on it, and that sort of thing. Oh, also next week I'm going to try and see what works for everyone, but we're going to do a power hour. So I haven't done one of these before, but we're going to pretty much sit down for an hour together and work some stuff out. We're going to do some reach outs together, we're going to do some content together, we're going to do like some things, and it's going to be like an hour of just like getting shit done, doing it together. Grab a cup of tea, like, you know, we'll make it a thing, we'll put some music on, and we're going to do it all together. So it just gets us re-inspired and just like doing some things that, you know, some of us don't want to do. And now that I've said that, you guys have to be here.
That sounds fun.
Yeah. Okay, babes, I will talk to you soon. Thank you all so much for showing up. Love you all. Bye.